Hello students, welcome back. So today we will have another reading practice. But before we move to the reading text itself, let's learn about the vocabulary that you will find from the text. Here I already prepared 7 new vocabularies. What I want you to do here is that you have to choose the correct meaning, whether it's A or B for each word. Okay, I will give you time. Have you guys done? Are you guys ready to check your answer? Okay, let's start with the first vocabulary, the first word, that is injury. What is the meaning of the word injury? Whether it's A, accident to a person, or B, a damage to something. The answer or the meaning of injury is B, damage to something. Now let's move to the second word, that is remarkable. What is the best meaning for remarkable? Whether it's A, usual, or B, surprising. Okay, the best meaning for remarkable is B, surprising. Now let's move to the third words, that is huge. What is the best meaning for huge? Whether it's A, very small, or B, very big. The best meaning for huge is B, very big. Now let's move to the next word, that is determinations. What is the best meaning for determinations? Whether it's A, strong will, or B, intelligent. The meaning of the word determinations is A, strong will. Now let's move to the next word, that is issue. What is the best meaning for issue? The best meaning for issue is A, topic. Now let's move to the next word, that is impressive. What is the best meaning for impressive? Whether it's A, admirable, or B, dangerous. The best meaning for impressive is A, admirable. Now let's move to the last word, that is research. What is the best meaning for research? Whether it's A, treatment for people with paralysis, or B, serious study to discover new ideas. Okay, boys and girls, the best meaning for research is B, serious study to discover new ideas. Okay, boys and girls, I'm sure that you understand about the vocabulary that we have already discussed. Now let's directly move to the text. The reading text that we have is entitled Christropher Reeve. I'm sure that you guys are familiar with these persons or this character. Okay, let's have the reading text. I will read it for you. Before his accident in 1995, Christropher Reeve had everything. He was a successful actor, famous for his Superman films. He was also an excellent athlete, pianist, sailor, and horse rider. One day in 1995, Christropher fell off his horse while he was making an unsuccessful jump. He was paralyzed from his neck down. 4 days after the injury, I woke up in the hospital and realized my situations. The doctors thought I was not going to pull through. My wife Dana said, "But you are still you and I love you." Since that moment, I've never thought of giving up. The first 6 months were terrible, but then he started to make a remarkable recovery. Christropher can now move his toes and the fingers of his left hand. He can lift his right hand and with help is able to move his leg. He also now has feeling in some of his body. "It means I can feel my kids' touch," he says. "It makes a huge difference." Christropher's determination has been important in these improvements. At first, he found it difficult to sleep, but now he sleeps well. "I have never dreamed that I'm disabled," he says. He wakes up at 8 every morning and after taking his vitamins, begins his 4-hour morning program of exercises and treatment. Nowadays, Christropher is more attractive than most able people and has succeeded in different areas. Since his accident, he has acted in a TV film, directed a movie, and written 2 books. The latest one called Nothing is Impossible. He gives lots of interviews and makes speeches about disability. His personal campaign about issues for disabled people and to promote research into spinal injuries is impressive. Christopher's family is very important to him. I'm surrounded every day by so much love, so much support, people who challenge me and want the best for me. Dana's so terrific. Our relationship has always been fantastic. The family still carry on spending summers together in the country. We miss our old activities. My daughter, Alexandra, and I love riding together. My son, Will, and I played the piano and sang together. Matthew and I love playing tennis. But you have to accept that being together is more important than doing things together. How does Christopher deal with the challenge of everyday life for someone who is paralyzed? I find it's best to think, what can I do today? Is there something I can achieve? A phone call I can make? A letter I can write? A person I can talk to that will achieve something? You have to learn to live a new life, but you do not need to be Superman to do that. I think it's really fantastic story, and I do hope that you can be inspired by this story. Now let's move to the reading comprehension practice. What you have to do is that you have to match the topic number 1 up to number 9 with the paragraphs, whether it's paragraph 1 up to paragraph 9. There is one extra topic here. Okay, I will give you some time to do this activity. Okay, boys and girls, let's check your answer. In order to answer these questions, let's now find the main idea or topic from each paragraph. Now let's start with the first paragraph. Before his accident in 1995, Christropher Reeve had everything. He was a successful actor, famous for his Superman films. He was also an excellent athlete, pianist, and sailor and horse rider. From this paragraph, we know that the first line is the main idea. Before his accident in 1995, Christropher Reeve had everything. So it's his achievement before he got the accident. Now let's move to the second paragraph. One day in 1995, Christopher fell off his horse while he was making an unsuccessful jump. He was paralyzed from his neck down. 4 days after the injury, I woke up in the hospital and realized my situations. The doctors thought I was not going to pull through. My wife Dana said, "But you are still you and I love you." Since that moment, I've never thought of giving up. From this paragraph, we know that the main idea is actually in the first sentence. That's one day in 1995, Christopher fell off his horse while he was making an unsuccessful jump. So it shows us how he first got that accident. Okay, now let's move to the third paragraph. The first 6 months were terrible, but then he started to make a remarkable recovery. Christopher can now move his toes and fingers of the left hand. He can lift his right hand, and with help he is able to move his legs. He also now has feeling in some of his body. It means I can feel my kids' touch, he says. It makes a huge difference. So from this third paragraph, we can also say that the first sentence is the main idea. The first 6 months were terrible, but then he started to make a remarkable recovery. So it tells us about his recovery, how he can get the recovery. Now let's move to the fourth paragraph. Here is the fourth paragraph. Christropher's determinations has been important in these improvements. At first he found it difficult to sleep, but now he sleeps well. I have never dreamed that I'm disabled, he says. He wakes up at 8 every morning and after taking his vitamins, begins his 4-hour morning program of exercises and treatment. In this paragraph, it shows us his daily routines. He wakes up at 8 every morning and after taking his vitamins, he begins his 4-hour morning program of exercises and treatment. So it shows us his daily routines in which he does exercise and also has his treatment. Okay, now let's move to the fifth paragraph. Nowadays, Christropher is more attractive than most able people and has succeeded in different areas. Since his accident, he has acted in TV film, directed movie, and written two books. The latest one called Nothing is Impossible. He gives lots of interviews and makes speeches about disabilities. His personal campaign about issues for disabled people and to promote research into spinal injuries is impressive. So, in this paragraph, we know that the main idea is on the first sentence. Nowadays, Christropher is more attractive than most able people and has succeeded in different areas. It shows us that he achieved something. Even we can say that he is more successful than the most able people. Now we can move to the sixth paragraph. Christropher's family is very important to him. I'm surrounded every day by so much love, so much support, people who challenge me and want the best from me. Dennis is terrific. Our relationship has always been fantastic. So here we see that he has many support system, and we know that Christropher's family is very important to him. So that's the main idea for this paragraph. Now let's move to the seventh paragraph. The family still carry on spending summers together in the country. We miss blah blah blah. So here in this paragraph, we can see that it shows us the children, his daughter and son, and how they support him. So it talks more about his children and his previous activities with his children. Now we comes to the last paragraph. How does Christropher deal with his challenge of everyday life for someone who is paralyzed? So it's clear that this paragraph talks more about his challenge on how what he does in his everyday life. Okay, so let's check your answer now. So we can see that the first paragraph talks about before the accident, and the second paragraph talks about the accident itself, how he can get the accident, the paralyzed, how he becomes paralyzed. And the third paragraph talks about his road to recovery. Then the fourth paragraph talks about exercise and treatment, his daily routine. And the fifth paragraph talks about his achievements since the accident. Then the sixth paragraph talks about his support system, that's his family. And the seventh paragraph talks about his children, how he spent pastime previously with his children before he got accident. And the eighth paragraph talk about his everyday life. Okay, I do hope that you got all the answer correctly, and thank you so much for your attention, and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.